positivity, motivation, never settle for average. We do it over here. You know, I've come to the realization that some people are just going to complain just to complain because their lives are based on some form of misery being perpetuated throughout their day. If you gave these people everything they wanted, if you gave them the perfect job, the perfect spouse, the perfect house, the perfect car, they would still find something wrong with those things. Those are people you can never satisfy. And those are people that once you realize that's their mentality, you got to stay the hell away from them. You got to avoid conversations with these people because they will try to pull you in and lower your frequency to theirs so that you too will be miserable throughout your day. You ever have that friend that you just call just to see how they're doing and they just want to unload a bunch of shit on you? They can't ever just talk to you about things that are positive in their life or compliment you on things you're doing in your life or asking you how you're doing. Matter of fact, when you call them, they never ask how you're doing. You called to see how they were doing, but they don't really ask how you're doing. Those are people that are just, I call them spiritual parasites. They attach themselves to other people that they see doing things or appear to be happy on social media, and they attach themselves to those individuals not because they want to share in the happiness, it's because they want to drain whatever happiness or life they have inside them so that they can make those people feel as miserable as they do. Some people are just miserable. They don't even love themselves. They pretend by dressing up with a bunch of maybe nice clothes, jewelry, shoes, cologne, but they don't like themselves and they don't want to do anything to make themselves feel happy about themselves. So when they have somebody around them, their way of empowering themselves is to say something to discredit that other person, to maybe throw uh, finances in that person's face or to make that person feel insecure when really they're the one that's insecure. But this is a cycle of a lot of these miserable people. Just because you see somebody with a nice car, maybe they're in a house that you would think like, wow, that's a dream house. It doesn't mean that they're happy. A lot of these people are miserable. And I sit back and I just sometimes I look at my phone and I try to think of like, man, who should I call today or this and that, and I only have a couple people with all the numbers I have on my phone. I only have a couple people that I just enjoy talking to. And the conversation is, you know, uplifting conversation. It's stimulating. It's not doom and gloom. It's not I got more than you and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's not. It's just good conversation. You don't need to hear somebody's braggadocious stories every time you talk to them. If a person every time they talk to you, they got to brag about what they just did. I mean, it's like, who cares? I mean, happy for you. If I ask, you can share, but I don't need to hear every time you did something like it's something that's a hell of a feat. I mean, I'm happy for you, but I don't need to hear it every time to feed your ego. And a lot of times these people are dealing with insecurities and they want you to feed your ego. That's why they always talk about what they did, what they bought, what they did this over here. And it's usually material stuff. It's nothing to do with health because health is just living a healthy lifestyle. It's exercising, it's meditating, it's prayer, it's belief in God. And a lot of times it's not that. It's all material. So whenever somebody's basing everything on their happiness around material items, that's a false reality, man. And that's something that you want to stay clear of. You got to have some type of happiness that comes from within, and it's got to be based on a belief in something that gives you a greater purpose. And that purpose can't just be founded on material items. It can't be founded on just narcissistic behavior. You know, it's got to be more than superficial. It can't be based just on your looks. It's got to be more to it than that. It's got to be something that, in my opinion, is in balance with humanity. Because if everything you do is based on how much money you have, how big your breasts are, how big your biceps are, uh, how much you paid for your last car, how much money you made last month, then that's that's not really giving any value to uplift the people around you. That's just you basically feeding what you feel is an appetite to make you feel better about where you think you are in society and how maybe above everybody else you are. People I know that really have a lot of uh, material wealth, they don't really talk about it. You wouldn't even know. I've seen guys, jeans, t-shirt, maybe a nice watch, multi-millionaire, driving an older car, maybe a classic car, and doesn't talk about how many thousands of acres they have in, Wyoming, or what type of business, they have, or how much money their business grows. It's just conversation, man. And then if that happens to come up later on, then so be it. But they don't base their whole presence on, I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm balling, I'm this, I'm that. You know, I'm a what do you call it? An IG model, or I'm a a fitness model, or blah blah blah. I mean, you gotta have more than what's superficial, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things right now that's hurting a lot of people in their personal relationships, is just a superficial mentality. And so much of these people put their business out there, that when they do run across somebody that's real, somebody that might actually give them the time of day, they can't even see it because they're so caught up on what everybody else is going to perceive their relationship with that other person to be. If that other person's not somebody that's also in that line, or somebody who's going to get attention or give them more attention, they don't want to give that person the attention. Therefore, they lose out on somebody who was going to bring value into their life. And that's sad, but it's a reality. That's why you have a lot of guys who are running around, putting themselves in these groups to try to fit in, and it's really awkward. You have a lot of these women now who, yeah, they have a lot of likes, a lot of follows, but they're lonely. They don't have a man they can share time with or do things with, and when they do, it's paid. So it's not really real. They go to these places and enjoy all these nice things and travel across the world, but at the end of the day, that person goes back to their wife, or their girlfriend, or whoever it is, and you're still left out there trying to find that guy that you feel you have a connection with. It's just like, these guys dating these chicks that they see, oh man, she's hella popular, blah blah blah. I'm gonna get at her, and then the whole time they're with her, it's just about her parading around. But it's not like she even gives a damn about anything personal about you, where you grew up, where you're from, your family life, your goals in life. We become so superficial, man, and just ungrateful. I think we got to get back to some core values, get back to having a foundation in God, and just respecting each other, and taking the time to not thrive so much in self, but to think about others around you, and to learn to love ourselves first. And once you do that, then you won't have the need to try to base everything off of your material items around you. If you have nice stuff, that's fine, but that shouldn't be the foundation for who you are as a person. BigHerc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster. Never settle for average. Go to BigHerc916.com. Popos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit.